What's going on, Dolphins? It's your boy Dillon. I'm back with you for another Dolphins with Dillon. Doing a quick hit. Just a couple things real quick I want to tell you about, talk to you about, so on and so forth. So just getting right into it. First things first. As of yesterday, it looks like the Dolphins had promoted Maurice Smith, safety Maurice Smith, from the practice squad to fill that last roster spot. So as far as I know, the 53-man is now full, and we have a vacancy on the practice squad. So we'll see what happens with that once I get more information, some confirmations, and who they end up putting on the practice squad. Then I will let you know, obviously. But until then, that's what I got on that. Also, another bit of fun news that I saw yesterday was pretty cool. So if you follow the NFL, like, generally at all, like, if you know at least a little bit of, at least by headlines and stuff about things that are going on with other teams and around the league. I mean, I'm sure you hear it when you watch the games. They obviously do game breaks and talk to you about the other teams and stuff like that. Well, anyway, so as you should know, first and foremost, all of the Florida teams are 2-0 to start the season. Us, the Jags, and the Bucks. Talking about the Bucks, though, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been doing very well for the first two games in Jameis Winston's absence. I don't expect him to come back and play. I think they're going to probably end up sticking with Ryan Fitzpatrick, especially if he continues to do as well as he's been doing. Anyway, so he's thrown like 8 touchdowns or something in the first two games. I think the only person that's thrown more in the first two games right now is Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, who I believe set a record for the first two games in touchdown passes. Anyway, point is, I'm kind of getting off track here. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, has been doing really well, and he went off for like 400 yards or something and 4 touchdowns in the first game. He balled out. He was crazy. People are like, oh, well, can he do it again? Because he's kind of notorious for having a really shitty game after having a really good game. But he did it again, and he was making magic, out on the field there at the quarterback position. So they started, the headlines and stuff started calling him Fitzmagic. Beautiful, right? It's good. Well, funny enough, our very own Minka Fitzpatrick decided that, well, him and his team, his agents and his representatives, whatever the hell, I don't know what their exact positions are, but his people, right? So his peoples decided that they were going to go ahead and put in a patent claim for Fitzmagic. So, because he's been called, Fitzmagic since high school, as it turns out, right? So he's like, oh my gosh, this other guy named Fitzpatrick is stealing my nickname unintentionally. It's not like Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, oh, start calling me Fitzmagic, right? No, it was obviously the headlines, it was obviously the reporters and the media and stuff like that were doing it, but it was funny, right? But he's like, nah, that's me, that's mine, that's my, I've been called Fitzmagic since, forever ago. And, so, I don't know, I thought it was cool. I love it. I love that he jumped in there and got it. He's like, nah, that's that's my shit. Don't touch mine. It's mine. It's all me. Get out of here. Anyway, so he's probably gonna get it, which is funny though, because that actually does have ramifications. That means they can't call if and when that goes through, which I expect it would. I don't see why it wouldn't. Because he wants to use it. He's trying to trademark it. That's what he's doing. He's trademarking it so that way he can use it for, like branding and like apparel sales and merchandise sales and stuff, right? Like he wants to use that Fitzmagic nickname or whatever, right? So, I thought it was good. I thought it was smart. And I love that Obviously, as a Dolphins fan, I love that our guy got it and not somebody else. But anyway, so I just thought that was interesting too. That was a fun little bit of information. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about really quick is, obviously, after all the games last night. By the way, I watched the Bears game, because we play the Bears later on in the year. I watched the Bears game yesterday. I'm not exceptionally worried about the Bears offense, but the Bears defense is definitely scary. Khalil Mack is nasty. I have no idea why the Raiders decided to trade him. I mean, that was dumb. But on the flip side, that makes our Raiders game this upcoming week that much easier, which gives us that much, better of a chance of, making it to 3-0 to start the season. Because if Khalil Mack was there, which also I have already watched the Raiders game, or at least parts of it. I haven't finished it quite yet, so I'm still working on that film study. But like I said, I won't have my preview video until Saturday anyway. But I have started watching that, and frankly, I'm not really that concerned with the Raiders. There's nothing about the Raiders that are like, really scaring me, especially since they don't have Khalil Mack there. I mean, they have some good players. Derek Carr's all right. He can get into, a rhythm and do some good things. Marshawn Lynch is there, but frankly, he is getting old, and he doesn't seem, at least from what I could see, I mean, he had some nice runs in what I've watched so far and everything, but, he's not, I don't know, I don't worry about him that much. And currently, we're doing really well in the run game. I think that's going to continue, so I'm not overly concerned with that. Amari Cooper's good, but he has been, falling off the past couple years. He had a really good first couple years, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit. He was in that same draft class with Kevin White and Devontae Parker. They were like the top three, receivers. Kevin White's just been basically straight hurt for the Bears, the whole time, and hasn't done shit. I actually really wanted him, but I decided, when I was picking out of those three, I ended up going with Devontae Parker. I did really want Kevin White too, but I think, and out of the three, Amari Cooper's the one that has had the most production so far. DVP's kind of been like a number 2 receiver type production. And that's why everybody gives him shit, because he's supposed to be a number 1 receiver or whatever. Anyway, he's coming back this week against the Raiders, and I think that, but there's nothing really about them that scares me, which is good. So, that makes me feel better, and I'll continue to do my film study. Anyway, so the last thing, though, that I want to get into is every week, the NFL, Bleacher Report, whatever, they put out the power rankings, right? The NFL power rankings. And I like to give you those because I like to see, we started off the year at 32. After the first game, I think we went to 31. We moved up like a spot. Or no, I think we moved up to 28 is where we were. So we moved up a few spots. Well, here's how the power rankings currently break down. And 32 is the Buffalo Bills. They are 0-2. They suck, which is great. That should be, 2 easy wins for us. Not easy. The Buffalo Bills are always, because they're a division rival, we do have to go play them in Buffalo, but I do expect that we will sweep that series. Because they really are not that good of a football team right now as it stands. Anyway, so Arizona Cardinals are 31 at 0-2. Then we have the 0-2 Oakland Raiders at 30. Then the 0-2 Detroit Lions at 29. 0-2 Houston Texans at 28. We play all these teams. We play the Raiders this upcoming week. We play the Detroit Lions middle of the year. We play the Houston Texans somewhere middle of the year on Thursday Night Football. Okay? Cleveland Browns come in at 27 at 0-1-1. Then you have the New York Jets at 26 at 1-1. Tennessee Titans at 25, 1-1. New York Giants 24, 0-2. Seattle Seahawks 23, 0-2. Washington Redskins at 22, they are 1-1. And then they get to us. So they bumped us all the way up to 21 in this week's power rankings. Nice, right? Nice. Starting to show us some love. That's cool. And once we hit 3-0, let's see where we end up next week. So I guess we had a high of 17, a low of 27, and we were 28 last week. So we won at the New York Jets 20-12. And so, of course, this gets kind of funny. Raise your hand if you thought the Miami Dolphins would be undefeated 2 weeks into the season and in sole possession of first place in the AFC East. When I was reading this article before, of course I raised my hand. Of course I raised my hand. I've been saying this in my videos, for a while now. I've said we're going to go at least 12-4. I've said that we're going to sweep all of our divisional opponents, even New England, which is a very bold statement. I've said we're going to win the AFC East. So, but anyway, then they say, now put your hand down, you big liar. Oh, we're so funny, we're cute. Because nobody possibly could have seen this coming. It's great. I love it. Last week, the Dolphins, see, they're still kind of sort of throwing some shade on us, right? Last week, the Dolphins used big plays to down the Tennessee Titans. In week 2, it was, we're not completely sure. The Dolphins ran for more yards than Ryan Tannehill passed for at the Meadowlands. Miami was outgained by the Jets 362-257, and yet, thanks in large part to 3 Jets turnovers, the Dolphins managed to eke out a win. So you see how they're phrasing it? They still, they're not even talking about really the good things that we did or anything. They're talking about how, if you look at all this, they should have lost, right? But if it wasn't for 3 Jets turnovers, come on, bruh. Undefeated or no, we're still not ready to call the Dolphins contenders or even call them good. At the end of the month, Miami travels to Foxborough to face the Patriots in their first real test of 2018. But with a home date coming up with the Oakland Raiders before that, it's entirely possible the Dolphins will roll into Gillette Stadium at 3-0 with a chance to open up a 2-game lead on the Pats. Nobody saw that coming. Bitch, please. I done seen that coming from a mile away. This team is something special. And so, anyway, I believe that we are going to win our upcoming game this Sunday at Hard Rock Stadium. It's another home game, our second home game against the Oakland Raiders. They're struggling. They're having a real hard time. They got their $100 million man in John Gruden as head coach, but they're, having a real hard time, especially since they got rid of Khalil Mack. This is a home game for us. I think we're going to, continue to improve on all, in all phases of the game. So, I'm feeling good. And like I said, so far in my film study, there's nothing that really jumps out at me that really scares me. So I think good things are coming. I think we are going to go into that game against the Patriots in Gillette Stadium at 3-0. And not only do I think we're going to go in there at 3-0, but I do think that we are going to steal away the win from the Patriots in their own home for the first time. And I can't even think off the top of my head when. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, I mean, it's prize since what? I think maybe 2008 when we won the division last. I think may have been the last time we won in Gillette Stadium. That's crazy. Anyway, so I think it's gonna happen. Look out for that. I know, it'll be tough to do. It'll be a hard-fought game, but I think we will come away with that win, and we will be one of the only teams left at 4-0. But if we end up 3-1, not terrible. I think we'll definitely beat them down in Florida when they come down. But anyway, so, man, I have a way of extending things longer than I originally intended to. So, but anyway, that's it for now, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave questions, comments, concerns. And with that, I will see you guys soon. Fins up.